Welcome to Las Vegas to Structure Research's Infrastructure Summit 2024. Joining me now is Alon Gavrielov, VP of Infrastructure for Cloudflare. And Alon, welcome to Vegas. How's Vegas treating you? How's the conference been?
It's been good. It's been a great conference. A lot of good speakers and good to see people in the industry. Thanks for having me.
Lots of gambling as well?
Not here for long enough.
Yeah. safe answer. Alon, I think one of the big topics this year, of course, is AI. It's unquestionable what's happening in the market. But what was interesting to see was a niche side of the conversation around GPUs and how the market is changing. So I guess my first question is, how are the GPU cloud providers navigating financing, navigating supply chain constraints? How are they able to provide the hardware to market?
Yeah, I think each has their own approach. Some use ODMs, some use OEMs, some have stronger relationship with certain suppliers. I think it seems like from talking to everyone, what we see, it's challenging. Lead times are long for GPUs, but people who have the foresight to build ahead of demand are doing well. So in Cloudflare's case, I think we, as I said earlier on a panel, where I think we punch above our weight in terms of supply chain for GPUs and inference. We benefit from being a long-standing customer of some critical suppliers in the space, and we use that to our advantage. But of course, our play is an inference AI play, so we're not building very large volume training clusters. We're at a lot smaller scale, so that's helping us on a supply chain, the smaller footprint we deploy.
Okay, picking up just on the Cloudflare example, almost like a side question.
Yeah.
Do you see space for younger companies to come into market and service the same place, or is this now really like a big dogs game where you have to have scale, you have to have the cash to be able to plan really in advance and get over the challenge of the market now?
Are you specifically for GPU cloud?
Yeah, for GPUs.
Yeah, I think it's hard. You see, yes, just give it so capital intensive to either to secure GPUs, build out or lease data center space. It's very capital intensive. You need a lot of financial backers. So yes, I think it's like all cloud, even before GPUs, is very capital intensive. So it's hard for new players to come in. Of course, there have been a couple who have come in and done a good job. But yeah, I think it's the sort of the big dogs of cloud, so to speak, and then some of the new markets focused on new entrants into the market focused on GPU. There's only a few of them because yes, it is hard. There are a lot of barriers to entry to become a GPU cloud provider.
Okay, hopefully we'll see some startups coming up to market as well at some point. If you had to pick up the three main use cases for GPUs in cloud, what would you say are the main reasons for demand, or the main use cases for demand, sorry?
Yeah, so obviously huge demand is on the training side, and that's not an area that we at Cloudflare play, and we're focused on the inference side, so I can best speak to that. But we're seeing a lot of use cases where people are looking for quick time to first token, so lower latencies, things like image generation, voice processing, any applications like that could benefit from relatively low latency inference and high performance. The customer, that's what we're seeing. So a lot of it is coming from more of the smaller kind of AI startups who are looking to do something using an inference cloud provider.
That's interesting. So that's what Cloudflare itself is experiencing as well. It's more the startup side that's driving.
For now, we're seeing mixed interest, but that also our developer platform a little bit targets more towards, I would say, sort of emerging companies, but we're seeing more of the interest now from sort of what we'd call web native type of companies rather than large enterprises. I'm sure that will shift over time.
Yeah, well, and over time it's probably the next 3-5 years.
Yep.
It's not a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, Cloudflare is a big player in the market that has a global presence.
Yep.
What are the plans for the next 12, 24 months? Share as much as you can at this stage, geography-wise, product-wise. What's in the cards, taking into account this massive tsunami that's coming at everyone?
Yeah, we're focused on AI inference. Continue to add new features to our serverless Workers AI product, which is our serverless inference as a service. From an infrastructure perspective, it's deploy the infrastructure to where it best satisfies customers. In general, we're trying to be as distributed as possible. That's Cloudflare stories being, an edge distributed network, and we'll continue to focus on that, but go where our customers and demand need us.
If we looked at the Cloudflare infrastructure of 2020, 2021, how has it changed into 2024? Like, what have you had to redesign? What adaptations have you had to do? What have you had to change?
I mean, I get, we're still early days, caveat, we're still early in our journey, but I think our densities are going up and our deployments are going up. Again, we're in the inference space. We're not getting, 100 megawatt GPU training clusters. So that's not our business right now. But for our deployments, for our network, they are becoming bigger, more power needs, and increase in density. And we'll see at what as our end product evolves, what that means from an infrastructure perspective.
Okay, interesting. So, and then of course we are in Vegas for the Structural Research Summit 2024. In 12 months' time, we're going to be back. Our industry is changing on a weekly basis now. It's not even 1 year, 2 years, it's a weekly basis. What do you expect to be the one thing that will happen or needs to happen in the next 12 months for the conversation to mature, for the industry to advance? What's your wish?
Oh, that's a good one, hard one.
You can open a Pandora box of questions afterwards as well.
Oh man, I mean, I guess one interesting question for me is a high level is how much will the AI demand that is in the marketplace from end users and AI use cases continue to develop, and how does that compare to the current capabilities being built out by all the big clouds, right? Is there going to be a supply-demand balance or not? Clearly, there's been an imbalance over the last year. I think that's a big question. And then I'm interested to see what this means from a M&E and cooling perspective within the data centers. It seems like liquid cooling is becoming much more of or the possibility to implement liquid cooling in data centers is becoming much more ubiquitous. So I'm interested to see if that truly continues to grow and become more standard over the next couple of years.
I was going to ask, do you see liquid cooling really becoming the prevalent technology, or in the next 5-10 years there's something else brewing?
Yeah, I think we'll see. It all depends on what the the roadmap of NVIDIA's, for example, the Blackwell chip is very high TDP, and so that's the experts are saying that yes, they are moving to more and more liquid cooling. I'm not sure whether it'll become prevalent or not. I'll be interested to see what happens.
Okay, quick last question, because I think you're going to be good to answer that. On a futuristic kind of level, what technology are you excited about for the next 20, 30, 40 years? I mean, things that we don't really use now, like DNA storage, all those sort of things. What's the thing that's being worked on that you feel very excited about that could disrupt the marketplace?
Oh, man, I'm not a good futurist. I'm gonna have to edit this out, but
we don't need a timeline. Just something that you think is going to have a big impact in the next few decades.
I'm interested in how this isn't, I guess, the use case. Maybe not an exact answer to the question, but how like infrastructure from space, right? Or like the again proliferation of satellites, and are there continuing the proliferation of digital infrastructure in space, whether that's fiber, data center, or whatever, satellite enabled. I'm interested. I think that's going to be very interesting to see what happens there.
Absolutely, and we've seen a bit of a pickup since last year. There's more conversations, and even governments are getting a little bit more involved with it, starting to understand what it means. So definitely be interesting, but it is expensive to put something up there that could be hit by a rock. So that's the only use case that hasn't gone solved yet. But Alon Gavrielov, VP of Infrastructure for Cloudflare, thank you so much for talking to me.
No problem. Thank you. Appreciate it.
As for you at home, thank you for watching, and do check our website and social media for the latest news from the digital infrastructure sector worldwide. At the Tech Capital, you lead, we report. Bye for now.